Hey everybody, California Gone Country. I'm back. I've taken a few weeks off from videos, got a new job. Took about a year off when I moved here, but now I'm back working for a living. But I want to show you guys something I did. I bought and I'm gonna flip the camera real quick. I bought that, if you can believe it. It's a massive 36-inch Echo CS-800P chainsaw. And I'll get back to this in a second, but I want to show you guys something real quick. I buy chainsaws and I love them and I sell some of them, but you could see my property goes way back there, and way like a quarter mile that way into the woods. I've been building ATV trails for the kids. And then if you come out here, my property goes way up the driveway here and all those trees. And it goes that way. So as you can see, I'm down to my last 10,000 trees. Now, do I need this saw? No, probably not. Especially not a 36-inch. I don't think there's a tree in Ohio that's big enough for that. I'm sure there is, but I don't think I have one. But anyway, I'm going to talk about that again in a second. I keep all my saws. I maintenance them up after I use them. This one was my wife's dad, super old. I don't use it. It runs really good, tuned it up, but I don't use it. That one right there is a Husky 240, probably going to sell it. It's okay, but it doesn't have the power that I like. It's a good limb saw. There's a CS-352, I bought it at Home Depot, brand new. It's an Echo. I kind of like Echoes, believe it or not. I know there's a couple things that people don't like. They're Japanese. They run well and they work forever, so I like that. And then there's my Husky Rancher, my 455, and that thing has been just a beast for me. It works all the time, starts right up, and if anybody badmouths a Husky, I'm sorry, maybe you're not using it right. I'm not going to get in an argument about Husky, Steel, Echo, I'm not. But I do like Echo saws. They're not the high end, I get it, I understand, but they're made very well, again, Japanese. The guy bought this. He had no business buying this saw, and he bought it. He said he used it 4 times. It's way too heavy for him. He's a little guy. And it's like taking a nuclear weapon to a gunfight. Yeah, it'll work. I can carry it around. I'm a big guy, But at the same time, what I'm going to do is I already bought a 27-inch bar and chain. When I bought this, the guy said he used it only a couple of times, and I believe him because there's even though the bar is dirty, there's no bluing. The chain, he actually has a little too tight, but there's no looseness in the chain. The chain is still pretty sharp. It's the first chain that was ever on it. There's no wear marks on it. I checked the sprocket, looks really good. I mean, just barely even a mark on it. And if you run your saws all the time, you might go through a sprocket or two a season if you run them all the time. And this just has the really good bar. And then he gave me a new chain, and I got the manual and everything. So I got a really good deal. Runs great. I'll tune it up. I'll fresh gas. I'll put all of it in there. It starts up and it runs real good. And I'll wait and I'll put my 27-inch bar on it. Actually, I got an Oregon 28. Echo makes a 27, but it's very expensive. So I went with the Oregon bar and chain. It's a 28-inch, so I'm going to put that on there. And let me go to the other side here. And here's the other side. Looks pretty good. I haven't even cleaned it yet. I haven't even done a once-over on it. There's no wear on the dogs, on the felling spikes, nowhere at all. So this guy just never used it. And he gave me this handy dandy little kid I don't know what this fits. Maybe it'll fit the 28-inch bar, but it certainly doesn't fit this. He had it on here and it looked kind of funky. I'm way too close, but you could see how that looks. Pretty stupid. Anyway, he gave me all the stuff with it, and I really like it. And I'm going to tune it up, and then I'll be right back. I'll clean it real good. Make sure the chain is super sharp. And then maybe I'll start it up so you could hear it run. So I'll be back in just a little bit. Okay, I'm back. I didn't tell you before, but this is an 80cc saw. It's a big engine, very heavy saw. But I wanted to show you, I took the side cover off and it is clean. There are no wear marks, nothing's bent, nothing's weird. And I wanted to show you this, the side case. He's never had it apart, and he told me that. But look at how good that looks. I'm gonna clean it up still. Look at the felling spikes. There are no marks on it, hardly at all. This guy did not use this saw. He hardly used it at all. And you could tell by looking at it. It's very good. I'm gonna go back over here. I wanna show you how good that looks. And I'm gonna clean it out still, but boy, there's like nothing in there. And you can see way down here, made in Japan. I'll hold it steady. And I feel Japanese make some good stuff. If you know Makita chainsaws, they go for $1,000, and they're not even like a Steel or a Husqvarna. This one is a little more reasonable, but you could see it's a big one. And I'm going to still clean it up, and then I'll be back. I'm not really going to tell you guys what I paid for it, because the guy just basically gave it away. He didn't give it away, and I paid good money for it, but I don't want you guys to be angry at me. But he wanted it gone. He said he was tripping over it in his garage, and I'm the guy that gave him a call and went and got it. And again, just to reiterate, I don't mean to say things over and over again, but I can't use that 36-inch blade. It's just too massive for my woods. So I bought a different size, a 28-inch Oregon, and I'll have that on there as soon as it comes. So let me clean this up and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. The saw's clean. I haven't even worked on it yet. I haven't torn it apart. Looking at the air filter, I haven't done anything. But I like to work on clean stuff. So look at this thing. Look at how clean that is. It's not beat up at all. You could just see the guy just used it and then put it in his garage and just left it there. Again, you could see that the dogs, the spikes are not used at all. You could see. I'm thinking that's magnesium, but look at the front of it. Cleaned it up real good. It's not beat up. There's no scratches on it. It truly looks really close to being mint. And I buy stuff on Marketplace, but I only buy really good stuff. And I clean it first before I'll work on it. Now, Echo's notorious for down tuning their equipment before they ship it. And I know this because I knew an Echo guy, a guy who was one of their engineers. I was in a meeting with them, and I got to talk to them for a long time. And they down tune their equipment so it'll last longer. They don't wind it up and lean it out. And I mean, you can. And if you want to, you go right ahead and work on the air adjustments. But your longevity will go down. And a saw like this, there's no use. Maybe I'll tune it up a little bit. I'll lean it out just a little. But there's no use in just, winding this thing out and blowing it up prematurely. A lot of guys do that. And I used to when I was younger. I'd tune it up till it screamed, and I thought the neighbors loved it because it sounded like a full racing engine. But I did lose a lot of the durability when I did that. So anyway, I just wanted to show you this. I'll make a look at the bottom. Wow, not beat up at all. Here's the chain, and as you can see, maybe I can get a close-up. That bad boy is barely used, and I mean barely. And you know how it all burns and it looks funky after a while. This chain is brand new, and then I got another one over here that the guy gave me. So anyway, I'm gonna open it up, look at the air, dump the gas out of it. It's probably old. I'll put brand new gas, 50. I'll go 50 to 1, which is the recommended amount. And then I'll tune it. I'll fire it up and tune it. And the next video, I'll wait till I get my bar in, my 28-inch bar, and I'll mount that. And then the next, it's not going to be a next video. It'll just be on the same video, only a little later on. I'll have it going with the new bar and chain and everything so you can see it. So just hold tight, and we'll be right back with some action. Thanks. Okay, everybody, I'm back. It's been a couple days. I got my new bar. It's an Oregon 28-inch. I put it on, got it all going, and it looks good. I wanted to show you guys this. I use T-handles. You can see them all hanging right there. It's from when I worked on motorcycles over and over again. But I have a really good T-handle set from Motion Pro. And so these side nuts right here, they're 13 millimeter. So it's really easy to work on it with my T-handle and loosen, tighten. And then I always make these for my chainsaws. And I saw it on another video, but this one has the screwdriver with it because Echo, okay, there we go. This one, you know, obviously we know what the scrunch, and then I put a long screwdriver on here because the chain tensioner is way down in here, and some of the other saws, Husky steel, it's on the side, but Echo does it this way. A lot of saws have done it for years. Doesn't matter to me. It's a good system because there's not another disc in there that has to turn. If your saw tensions from this side, it's actually a disc. It's a straightforward screw with a disc on it that spins and rotates the screw to make it go back and forth. With this system, they just bypass that disc and it's just a straight screw that comes out and tensions the chain. Sometimes it's uncomfortable to do it, but I don't really care myself because I've done them before. And so then I put this together. I usually just have the scrunch on there, and then I have some kind of carabiner rope, and I lock it onto this, not while I'm using it. It's just while I'm transporting. So whatever I'm transporting it on, when I take it off to use the saw, I know that my tool is right there, my tools. And if you see, I know I'm a weird kind of anal when it comes to this, but this one has it, this one has it, and this one has it. And those are my primary saws. This is an old saw. I think I showed it to you guys. It's made by Skill. And it was made in the 70s, and it works really good. And I like it just because it's old. It's like a classic car. And I'm not going to cut trees down with it and take it out and limb with it. I could. Blade sharp, ready to go, runs great. But it has sentimental value in my family because it was been passed down to people after other people passed on. And now it comes to me, and it's just going to be kind of in my group. And I don't know where I'm going to put this yet, but here's the beast. and it's ready to go. So I'm gonna double check the gas, clean gas, oil. Oh, I still haven't torn it apart. I did take apart the air cleaner, super clean. Carburetor, super clean. No dirt in there, no nothing. I used air and I blew out the filter. Nothing came out. It was just like brand new. And so I'm just gonna put good gas in it and I'll fire it up. Today I'm wearing my really good working outfit. As you can see, I got my Muckalux on, shorts, t-shirt. It's super hot outside. So when I fire it up, I might go cut something, but only for a second. And I'll have on my eyes and ears, but I'm not going to put my chaps on because I'm not going to take down a tree today. I just want to show you guys it working, and give me your comments. I lucked out on this one, but on the other hand, sometimes it's not so good. Sometimes you buy something or look at something and it's not as advertised and it's just junk, beat up junk. Oh, one other thing real quick. Flail mower. I bought this a year ago, had it shipped in. It has hammers underneath, and I'm gonna see if I can get under there. And maybe, just maybe, you could see the hammers. Yeah, there they are. Each one of those hammers is about 1.5 pounds. And when it spins, there's 24 of them, and they go super fast. And when I go out in my woods, it's a brush hog, and that thing just makes mulch out of anything that you go over, any kind of branches, twigs, small sapling trees, whatever. And I might do another video on that. And that's my old Kubota I bought. Again, just like an old classic car. It's in great shape. 360 hours. It has a 4-cylinder diesel. It is super cool. It's not big. It does have 24 horsepower, and it gets the job done with this. And I got tons of other implements that I use. I got the grader, obviously. I got tons of other things. I got the boom pole, and this thing has really helped me around the yard. I don't need a big tractor yet, and then when I do, I'm not going to sell this one because I just love it. It's just really a good size to drive around and get stuff done around the property. So I was working on. I changed the oil in it, and a shear pin. I somehow a nut came off. It's a shear pin on these is just a bolt with a nut on it. The nut came off and the bolt came out, and it took me about 30 minutes to take the PTO shaft off and re-grease everything, make sure everything was perfect, and it is, and put a new bolt in there. And I just took it out last night and ran it through my woods for probably 1.5 hours, but I cleared out a lot of the brush that's way back in there. And but I'll put another video out for that one. Okay, so real quick, I'm gonna get it ready, and then I'll fire it up for you, and you'll see it in just a minute. Okay, I want to talk about one other thing before I get started with starting it up. I buy, for my chainsaws, especially if they're new, break them in. I use a 40-to-1 to break them in. This one's already been broken in. He said he might have ran a tank of gas through it. I'm not sure. But I typically run a 50-to-1 mixture. If my saw is brand new, I'll run 2 or 3 tanks of 40-to-1. And then what I'll do is I will run it for a few minutes, cutting a tree down, and then I'll stop it, put it aside, and let it cool down while I use a different saw. And then once it's cooled down, I'll bring it back, I'll fire it back up, warm it up. Always warm up your saws, please. Even if they are broken, warm them up. Otherwise, you could have a problem. It's called a cold seize. I'm not really going to get into that, but it is exactly what it sounds like. The cylinder heats up faster, or the piston heats up faster than the cylinder, and it causes expansion of the piston. Is not a good thing. So anyway, warm up your saw before you use it. And what I was going to tell you about this was the quality of the oil you use. Do not skimp on oil quality. When I spent the time with the Echo engineer, I was actually in a class, a small engine class, and I got to spend time with this guy. He was their highest level engineer at the time. And he made it a point to tell us that the quality of this FD oil, it's the highest rated synthetic oil on the planet. And I don't know if there's anything better than it right now, but this was some years ago. But he said whenever you use synthetic good oil for your chainsaw, small engines, two-stroke, always make sure it's FD. Here's a Husqvarna 2-cycle. Echo is the exact same way, but on the back, somewhere, there it is, it'll say that quality of oil. It not only meets, but it exceeds all recommended small engine two-stroke. Now, think about this for a minute. The Echo will run up to, it likes to run the small two-strokes when you tune them. They like to run between 9,000 and 12,500 RPMs. Now you think about that. It's a 2-cycle engine. The engine fires on every stroke, and you're leaning it out, and you wanted to get it. I'm telling you, if you get to 13,000 RPM and you're proud of yourself, you're probably going to wear the saw out faster. Well, you are. You're going to wear the saw out faster than it should. Even 12,500 RPMs, when I tune this thing, it's going to scream, but at the same time, you got to make sure the lubrication is good. I'm not going to lean it that much out. I'm perfectly fine, especially with a big saw like this. I'm perfectly fine at 11,500, and the saw will last a long time if you take care of it, especially if you use any product that has the FD quality oil in it, synthetic grade oil. And it should run and run and run, and you should be just fine. The reason why I buy this, and I know a lot of you guys are like, wow, that's too expensive, and I get it. The reason why I buy it is there's no ethanol in it, it's high octane, and it makes the saws run really good. I do use, and if we come over here, here's the 50-to-1s that I get it at the orange box store, but see the one with the X on it? That's just like pump gas, non-ethanol. There's a station around me that has it. Non-ethanol pump gas, high octane, the highest octane I can pump. And I add the Echo oil or the Husqvarna oil like I showed you. And that I'll run in my blower all day long in my blower, and I'll run it in my weed whacker. It's an Echo. And they run great. I have no problems with them. I keep them tuned up really good. But just the non-ethanol gas, the highest octane I can buy. Mix 1 gallon with that little thing of oil, and there you have it. That's what I use. But my chainsaws, I baby them, and I don't do that. I'll use a product like this or the other ones I just showed you. That's a premix, high octane, and it makes the saws go. I've never had a failure of one of my personal saws. I've never blown one up. Although I shouldn't say that, because when I was younger and I'd lean them out and I'd get them to scream at the top RPMs, let's just say 13,000. Remember, it's firing, the pistons, the cylinder and the piston, and it's firing at 13,000 RPM. What can go wrong? A whole lot of things can go wrong. If you're not super good on the oil, as far as the mixture, 50-to-1, you could have some serious problems. So anyway, I wanted to talk to you about that, and I'll get it going in just a second. If you have any questions, or if you want to have any comments, and you certainly know more than I do, please, just feel free to put them in the comments section. Thank you very much. Okay, real quick on the controls. Here's your on-off switch. Here's your choke. This is a manual oiler. If you want to put extra oil onto the chain, I already did a couple times because it's a new chain. If you're cutting something big down and you want to add more, get more oil on that chain, you just press that button, and then you got the trigger. It's pretty standard. what's going to happen, and I have not fired this up since I bought it. When I bought it, I did, but I'm going to pull the choke back and I'm going to start pulling it, and it's going to sputter. And as soon as it sputters, I'm going to go half choke and it's going to start. And then when it starts, when I pull the trigger, it should go in. If it doesn't, I'll just push it in with my thumb. I'm not sure if this has that feature where it'll automatically go in, but we're going to find out. Right away. Okay, I'm going to cut this piece of ash. Could be a maple. I'm not sure. But let me cut through it real quick. And that wasn't too bad. I didn't put hardly any weight on it. That was with the full weight of the saw. So if you guys have any comments or questions, try and keep the chatter to a minimum, the bad chatter. Anyway, I look forward to making a couple more videos, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.